You are listening to Sharing Abundance, an In Time Tech podcast. We love the support and thank you for listening. Enjoy!
Hello, listeners. I'm Harshita, your host for the sixth episode of Sharing Abundance podcast. Today, we have Vijaya Arucapalli as our guest. As a vice president, she takes care of project delivery across the entire organization and is known for her self driven spirit and agility. She is the only woman leader on our board of directors. We are excited to have her with us today. Come and let's meet her. Hello, Vijaya. Welcome to the sixth episode of Sharing Abundance. I hope you are doing well.
Hey Harshita, hello everyone. I'm really excited to be here. I'm doing very well, Harshita. Thank you so much.
Thank you for coming, Vijaya. So let's start our questions. So, Vijaya, what is women empowerment in the true sense according to you?
Yeah, for me, empowerment basically, Harshita, is awareness of someone's own capabilities and then taking actions in line with what they think that they can achieve and then owning that and leading their lives powerfully. That is fundamentally how I see empowerment. Now, explicitly, if I have to talk about women empowerment, it's just the same. And the reason why we talk explicitly about women empowerment, or for that matter, there are a lot of other empowerments that come, like, child empowerment, basically because fundamentally, if you see back in the history, those are the sects or communities which did not have the privilege of being empowered. And then now, as the dialogue is changing across the world, it's basically about really stepping up and standing for oneself. That's how I see women empowerment at the whole sense, Harshita.
Got it. So, just a question. When you began your career many years ago, what had you planned for yourself? Did you ever imagine that you would have a leadership role at InTime Tech?
That's a great question, Harshita. So when I was growing up, I have never ever grown up believing that my gender would stand in my way of doing anything that I want. So when I look back, I always wanted to be somebody who can be at service for people and take care of them and really stand in the front and lead from the front of whatever I want to do. And that always showed up growing up when there was an opportunity to take care of something at home, something at my college, something at my, when I started my career in my workplace, I was always the first one to really come forward and take on responsibilities. So that's what I looked for when I started my career almost 19 years ago, which is in 2005. So when I look back, that's what originally I wanted to be somebody who takes responsibility of people and take care of them. And I have definitely saw myself in a leadership role when I joined Intantech in 2010. In fact, that was the reason I left HP and came and joined this company, because I could see that I can be that individual who can really contribute more than what I was doing at that point of time. And I also saw that there were a lot of things that I need to learn to be that person. And the opportunity at InTimeTech really showed me that path to go in that direction.
Got it. Okay, so the next question from my side is how it feels like to be a single woman in leadership at InTime Tech?
How it feels to be a single woman.
Right.
Technically, in InTime Tech, there are a lot of women who are leading things from the front for sure. Now, I do know your question is coming from how does it feel to be a senior leadership member in InTime Tech? And for me, honestly, it doesn't feel any different, Harshita. And here is the reason why. InTime Tech is a platform where there's hardly any differentiation between the genders. And since I don't associate myself with a gender, it is not very separate for me, the feeling that, oh, I am the only woman, because the opportunities that I got is no less than my counterparts in the team. And for me, really, I can show up the way I am designed to, and then really serve the purpose, serve the cause of what InTimeTech stands for, that is creating abundance. Now, having said that, there are a few physiological and there is responsibilities which are different for being a woman than men, and I recognize it and I respect it. And for that, I always had got the space and grace for the things that I need to be doing, being, let's say, a mother, a wife, a sister. That always goes on, and that goes without saying.
Got it. So, what about your leadership style? How you lead others? Is it different from your other counterparts?
I'll give you a simple analogy, Harshita. See, when you see in your family the way how your father leads and how your mother leads, they're so different and yet they're so powerful.
Right.
So, I personally believe that the leadership style is very, very specific to one person, irrespective of their gender. And yet, there is a flavor that gets added when you are women versus your man. So, personally, my leading style is to really take care of people and yet challenge them to ensure that they can see what is next for them and not get stopped with where they are right now, because there's always next for all of us. There's always so much next for me right now that I keep looking and keep listening and keep learning. So that's how I lead, Harshita.
Got your point. So, like, as a female leader, what has been the most significant barrier in your career?
Honestly, there were no barriers, Harshita. All I see were kind of what I call as a speed bumps, where sometimes I have to really hit the brake, really go down to the first gear, and then really look for, okay, what is not working. And those are essentially places where I had some learning to do. Could be places where, how I show up for people and how I'm being there for people. So there are no significant barriers. It's always like, going straight ahead. And there were places where I really had to slow down, sometimes even look back and then say, okay, what is missing and what I need to do more or what I need to do differently so that I can really go forward and then continue to do what I'm most excited about doing, which is taking people forward along with me.
Got it. So, like, how could you calculate the positive impact of having women in the organization?
Can you expand more on that question, Harshita?
I just wanted to know, like, what's your point of view when you have women in your organizations? Is there any positive impact on you or
I
the
got it.
working style or working sense?
Okay, got it. So there is so much of need for having a right kind of balance in organization between the genders, for sure. And the reason being is that it really helps each other to understand and really work together better. If you see, again, if you go back historically, men were always the hunters and women were gatherers. Now, the conversation is changing where both of them are going out to hunt, to really lead from the front and get things done. So if you see, that actually helps not only this generation of where we are seeing more and more women being on the workforce and leading from the front, it also has a huge impact, a very great positive impact on the next generations who are coming because they are watching and learning. See, kids never listen and learn, they watch and learn. So
True.
at my home, they know that both mom and dad are equal, they are there, and then they take care of things together as a partners. And then imagine those kids who grow up also look at women that way when they go to the workplace or when they see in a friend circle. So that, if you ask me, that is the best positive impact which is getting created, and it will be very, very evident probably 2 generations down the line, where everyone exists just to push each other up and help each other out.
Right. This is a very beautiful answer, Vijaya. So, my next question is, what's the greatest risk you have ever taken as a leader?
Yeah, it's a decision to be a leader. And the reason why I say that is the moment I decide I want to be in the front and center, that means that the spotlight is on me. And that also means that I really need to be squeaky clean when it comes to anything around me. If I ask people to be physically fit, I better be that before I even ask anybody. If I want to inspire people to be in action and get things done, I need to do that first. And for any reason, if I fall short, then the repercussions are huge. And I own that, and I need to really correct it in such a way that people can relate to me as somebody who's powerful rather than somebody who does not keep up her word. So the decision of being a leader itself is a risk and also a reward. See, one thing I always look at is that taking on a leadership role doesn't mean that I have to be personally ambitious and that's the only reason. No, it actually means is that I know I have my stuff to work on, and yet I choose to step up and then be there for someone or lead people from the front while I am rigorously working on the places where I'm probably falling short. That's what I see as a leadership role. And
that's really nice.
yeah, and that keeps me on toes, by the way, and I love that. Every day,
Right.
day in and day out, learning really keeps me excited and inspired.
Right. So, what are some strategies that you think that can help women grow within their organization?
First, stop associating yourself to your gender. Not that everybody's doing that, but sometimes it might creep in without even us noticing it. So stop associating yourself with gender and start associating yourself as a powerful person who can really go onward and upwards. And while you do that, you must take people along with you, because you cannot be a leader if you don't have any followers. And that part is very, very important. Somebody going onward and upward, as well as while doing that, taking people along with you. So I feel that's the only strategy. Nothing more, nothing less.
Got it. So, this is one of my favorite questions. How you balance being a mother and a professional?
Yeah, and I have a very disruptive answer for that, Harshita. I don't balance anything. I just live life, and whatever comes on that way, I just do it. So if I have to take care of my kids and that's what is needed and nobody else can do that, I do that. And when I'm working, there's something that I'm working on, nobody else is there to take care, I do that. And trust me, hardly there was any time when there was a conflict, because I was very clear on the priorities which come my way. And I also make sure that on both the sides, there are leaders that I can depend on who can really catch if I really have to take care of the other side. See, one thing I see, Harshita, is that there's no work-life balance. And we talk about this a lot and at In Time Tech, there's just life. There's no work and then life, because half, 3/4 of our time we spend at work. So that is life as well. So rather than focusing on what is the balance, because there is none, just keep doing what is needed and then be there for everyone. Nothing should be sidelined or not taken care of. Home is important. Home is the most important, because if you don't have peace at home, you cannot be peaceful at work. So take care of home, make sure that everybody's taken care. Take care of work, make sure that everybody's taken care. Take care of your community if you're a part of it, make sure that everybody's taken care. And then one thing I do, Harshita, is that I do fall short, by the way. There is no way, all of us do. Now, when I fall short, what I do is that I look back and I see what more and what else I can do. And I recommit and I do that next time. And I keep doing that.
Right. So, what are you most excited about the future? Do you have any further plans to add more women to the leadership panel?
Yeah, I'll answer this question in two parts. The first part is about In Time Tech. At In Time Tech, what am I excited about? If you see, the way we have grown is phenomenal. The way how we have really grown only in just the past 3 years. If I can share a little bit of the statistics that we have been looking at, is that in 2020, our total revenue was $13 million. And from that to 2022, right now, we are in June right now, and we already have a confirmed business of $34 million, which is almost more than double.
Right.
And then people wise also, we have grown from 500 employees in 2020 to 1,050 employees in 2022, and then we just keep growing. So overall, I think a lot of good things are happening at In Time Tech. I believe that we are at a pivotal stage where we are really translating or transitioning the conversation around our company from, we are no more a startup. And now we are like really getting into a big league of playing big games. So that's what I'm excited about at In Time Tech. And in the same context, Harshita, if I talk about, you asked me a question that any further plans to add more women to the leadership panel. We certainly have a lot of plans to add more leaders to the leadership panel. And if it happens to be women, that's great. If it happens to be men, that's great. We really need more leaders right now to take this game to the next level. And the second part I was planning to share in general, excited about future, is that since we're talking about women empowerment, and in that context, if you see, there's so much of conversation that got changed across the world as well. If you see, there are so many women leaders who are leading not just businesses, but even nations. If I can quote Jacinda Ardern, the current New Zealand Prime Minister who got elected for the second term, she was the first female prime minister and also the youngest, and who also have dealt with some of the major events like a terrorist attack, a volcano eruption, and the pandemic. And she did all this while holding a baby.
Right.
And that's so exciting because it shows how people are really, showing up and transitioning the conversation around the globe. And that's what I'm really excited about to see.
True. So, is there any advice would you give to the next generation leaders?
Yeah, work hard and play hard. There is no shortcut for success for anything that you do. And just be in action all the time and let your actions speak for you. That's what I would say, Harshita.
All right. So, Vijaya, I'm going to ask you one of the very, exciting questions. So, who's the real
Sure.
boss at your place?
Yeah. Who's a real boss? So first of all, there are no bosses at my place. If I can take the same connotation, definitely both me and my husband are the leaders of the house, where we really take care of things. And the good thing, what works the best for us is that we both know what we are good at individually and what things we may not be. So we really divide our work in such a way that we lead in those friends the person who is good at. And another thing which we're also doing is with our kids. I have two boys. We really are helping them to see, to take responsibility. Now they don't understand when I say, okay, you need to be a leader, and they don't have to understand also. They just need to really look at us and say, okay, this is what mom and dad do, and this is what I can do too.
True.
So to answer your question, we both are equal partners at home, me and my husband, Srini. And, we are really looking at our kids to really watch and learn and choose what they want to do as they're growing up.
Got it.
That's a very good question, Harshita.
So thank you so much, Vijaya, for taking out some time for this podcast and share your valuable thoughts with us. I really appreciate your presence with us today.
And thank you so much for this opportunity, Harshita. One thing I just want to share with the listeners is that it is really exciting to be a part of this journey. And being a women leader really makes it so much sense for me, because that gives me an opportunity to really bring out the best for many of our employees and otherwise also. Having said that, like I said, dissociate yourself for being a man or a woman, and really relating to oneself as a powerful person who can really achieve your dreams and then take care of other people. Just do it. It is so needed right now in this world, and so many people are already doing it.
Very true.
Thank you for listening to Sharing Abundance. Be sure to visit our website and check out our other episodes at intimetech.com. That is INTIMETEC.com. Thanks again for listening.